Welcome to another episode of The Evolution, the transformative podcast, your go-to podcast for unlocking the limitless power of your energy and your mindset. I'm Javon, also known as Mr. Raise the Vibes, your personal growth coach dedicated to transforming the way you think, feel, and experience life. If you haven't already, it would mean the world to me if you would please subscribe to this channel and follow us on Instagram at @RaiseTheVibes_. So, to start off this episode, in all episodes, we start off with the vibe check. The vibe check is something that I do with those that are in my inner circle and folks that I work with to provide some insight into how they're actually doing. This isn't your generic, hey, how are you? Oh, I'm good. No, this is actually an in-depth conversation and elaboration on how someone's doing mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. This is something that I encourage everybody to do if you don't do it. If there are people in your life, whether it's a romantic partner or a colleague that you work with closely or just someone that you just see often enough at the gym and you just want to engage in a deep conversation with them and open that door, you can ask them, how are you doing mentally? How are you doing physically? How are you emotionally? And that will really give them the opportunity and the space to open up and communicate to you what's really going on in their life and if they actually are okay or if they have things going on that they don't talk about. So this is an opportunity for people to really strengthen their relationships and really explore the depths of how someone's doing and all those other aspects of their life. Again, not just emotionally, but also physically, mentally, and spiritually. So, because you are here with me on this episode and you're officially a member of Raise the Vibes family, I'm gonna start off all my episodes with vibe check. So if you don't do it, try it with someone close to you. But for me, personally, mentally, I am clear. The 2024 is wrapping up. 2025, beginning of a new year. I think preparing for the new year is super important. Reviewing your goals and objectives for 2024, seeing how you did, but then also preparing your new goals and setting up those milestones and checkpoints for 2025 to making sure that you're staying on point. So mentally, I'm focused. Vision is clear. I'm on point mentally, honestly. I think it's that time of the year for a lot of people where they start to think about how things went and the direction that they want to take their life in. For me, that's definitely where I'm at. So mentally, that's really what I'm focused on. So mentally, I'm locked and loaded. Emotionally, I'm getting better. I will say I'm getting better. Holiday season, it's very draining. It's a lot. It is a lot. So for me, I just try to show up as best as I can emotionally and fake the funk. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'll fake the funk. I might not have everything to give emotionally. I'm not really here emotionally, but when there's people that rely on me to show up with a certain energy, I'm mindful of that. So I like to show up as consistently as possible for people with the expectation that they have of me. So I fake the funk as best as I can, but emotionally, I'm drained again. And yeah, that's just where I'm at. I'm getting better. Cup's getting more full. Refilling it, recharging myself, doing what I got to do to get myself back up to where baseline is for me emotionally. I'm not there quite yet, but I've had better days. I've also had worse days. So I'm surviving. I'm working on thriving right now. Physically, listen, I'm struggling. Not even gonna lie to you. There's just something going around. And physically, I'm down bad. I am feeling extremely stuffy, congested, under the weather. Whatever is going around, it's made its way to me and got your boy. All right. I like to think I'm pretty healthy for the most part. I like to take good care of myself. I wear a hat when I go outside, like my mom always told me to. But somehow this little virus snuck its way into my system and it's having its way with me right now. So physically, I'm wounded. All right. Not made of steel, armor. Nah. I'm wounded and I'm feeling it a little bit physically. But it's not taken over completely, right? I am not 100%, and that is okay, because something that I had to come to terms with, and that I know a lot of you people out there, whether you're watching this or those that aren't watching this, we need to know how to perform and to show up when we're not 100%, because we're not always going to be 100% every day, right? There are things that are expected of us. We made commitments at an earlier time that the day of, we're not feeling up for it, right? Or we're not feeling well, whether that's something mentally or something emotionally or something physically limiting us, hindering us, holding us back from being 100%. Does that mean we don't do what we got to do? Absolutely not. We still need to show up where we're expected to show up, whether that's for our family, whether that's for our friends, whether that's for our colleagues. For me personally, with this illness and how I've been feeling, I had to take some days off of work, because at the end of the day, I know if anything is to happen to me, work's going to keep on going on without me. Therefore, I don't care to show up when I'm not my best, because they don't care about me enough for me to show up for them when I'm not feeling my best. There are other areas of my life where I need to show up in and I rather reserve myself for that. And work is it's work, you know. It is what it is. I prioritize my energy, and there are days where work gets more out of me, and there are days where other parts of my life get out of me. So I had to make that call and do what was best for me, and that was what I needed to do. So for me personally, I like to reserve my energy and use it accordingly based on what I feel is most important. So for me prioritizing myself and my well-being, granted I might not be feeling 100%, I really prioritize my health, so I'm still going to the gym. Now I'm doing what I need to do. I took a COVID test, it came back negative, so I'm not sick with COVID. I'm just coughing, sneezing, feeling really congested and stuffy, but I need to go to the gym. That's a commitment I made to myself. And that is me checking off that box for myself every day. Now, am I going as hard as I usually do in the gym? Absolutely not. But it is important for me that I show up for myself. And that is something that I make sure that I do for myself every single day. Because I'm not always going to be able to count on people, but I need to be able to count on me. And in order for me to be responsible for anybody else or anything else, I need to know that I can count on me so that I know others can count on me. But that starts with me showing up for myself. So in making that my priority, yes, I go to the gym when I'm not feeling 100%, but I'm able to do that because I turn it back a little bit and manage my input there. So and everywhere else. So I know that I got the rest of the day to go through, but I always make sure that's a priority for me. So purpose of this episode is kind of talk about how to be your best and do your best when you're not feeling your best, right? And one of the first things that you can do is acknowledge your reality. Okay, that is recognizing and accepting the fact that you're not operating at full capacity, and it's okay to not be 100%. And that may be for a variety of reasons, right? You might not mentally be all there, or you might be physically ill or compromised, or just emotionally drained or hurt, or spiritually lost and confused, right? Whatever it is whatever your impairment is, or whatever is causing you to not show up as whole, it doesn't matter. And it's okay that you're not able to show up at 100%. Nobody's at 100% every day, right? You might have gave 110% yesterday, and now you're going to feel that today. Now you're not going to wake up at 100%. Or maybe you're some superhero with this everlasting reserve tank, and you're just able to constantly go and go and go. Not all of us are like that. Used to be when I was younger. Now we getting up there in age now, so we make do with what we got. So I know that I'm not always going to feel 100%, and that is okay. Because what I can do is focus on what I can control, right? That's acknowledging the fact that I'm still willing to show up for certain parts of my life, and I can be okay with that. That I'm willing to participate, and I'm okay with that, and that I care enough to try, and I am okay with that, right? These are things that are in my control. I control how I show up. I control my willingness to participate. I control that me giving my best is going to look different, but it's my best, not your best for me. It's my best for me. And that's going to look different in the different aspects of my life that I need to show up, because there's some areas of my life I might not show up in, because guess what? That might not be a priority for me. And that might affect other people. And that is okay, because I am doing what's best for me. Okay. Another thing you can do to, when you're trying to show up your best, is reframe your perspective, right? Shift your focus from being perfect to just making progress and identifying what is the best I can give right now. And that can show up in many different ways depending on who you are and how you operate, right? You might be someone that usually takes on more tasks at work and try to help out your teammates, but when you're not your best, maybe today you're just going to focus on your assignment and making sure that you're doing what you need to do today to the best of your abilities. And knowing that it is okay, and that doesn't make you any less of a teammate, because at the end of the day, you are managing yourself. You are allocating your energy accordingly based on what you actually have to give. And knowing that you're starting not at 100%, you're going to have to kind of tailor your input in different aspects of life, because again, you're not going to be able to go 100% everywhere, right? You might be someone that usually wakes up early in the morning and goes to the gym, but you woke up this morning not feeling 100%. Maybe your knee hurts a little bit, right? Well, now you're really not going to be able to go to the gym and give 100%. So maybe you're only able to go to the gym and give 50%. Maybe you're not able to make it to the gym at all, and all you can do is just go for a walk. That is perfectly okay, because again, you're not at 100%. You can monitor and modify your input for the day, right? Maybe you've had a long day at work, right? And your partner's used to you coming home, and when you come home, you are usually super energetic and outgoing, and you talk to your partner about your entire day. Well, today you are emotionally drained and exhausted. You don't have it in you. So maybe you just come home and you put on you and your partner's favorite TV series, and you just sit there and just exist in the space with them, right? Because that's what you can contribute today. And that is perfectly okay, because again, you're not trying to be perfect. You're just trying to make progress and understanding what it is that you want to get done, what's important to you, and making some progress to that, okay? Third thing you can do when you're trying to be your best, when you're not feeling your best, is set the intention, okay? Decide the energy you want to bring to situations, even if it is limited, right? You should have a plan on how you want to show up for the day, because at the end of the day, if you know you don't have 100%, you only got 60%, you should think about how you're going to manage that 60%, right? It's the same thing like a budget, right? You know, you typically have $100, but now you only got $60. Now you got to budget that $60 and make it last till your next payday, which is tomorrow, when you should get another $100, right? Maybe you might get 80 tomorrow, but today you only got 60. Now you got to make that $60 last. The same thing goes with your energy. You got to manage what you have, right? You might be expecting a little bit more, but today you got what you got, and you got to make it last for the day. So you got to manage it, right? Think about what's expected of you and what you have to give. Know all of your responsibilities for the day, right? You should know that coming into the day. So it should be easier for you to think about, okay, I know I got to go to work. I know I'm supposed to go to the gym after work. Then I know I got to go to my volleyball club, and then I'm supposed to come home and do my book club. That's a lot in one day for someone that's at 100%, never mind someone that's only at 60%. So knowing you're at 60%, know what you have and then manage your output, right? Because you're not going to be able to commit to everything. You got to know how to distribute yourself when you have 100%. Now you got to worry about how to distribute yourself when you only got 60%. And keep in mind that you only have to make it through today, right? Tomorrow, you're going to have a whole new pool of energy to choose from, to work with. Whether that's you might wake up with 100% tomorrow because you didn't overexert yourself today, because you manage your 60%. So tomorrow you're more likely to wake up with 100%. But understand, it's just for the day. It's just temporary. It's not forever. You just have to make it through today, right? So whatever that may be, however it is that you're modifying your your ability to show up for people, right? Maybe you might not be able to be there physically, but you can be there emotionally and spiritually. And that might look like just giving someone some emotional support and offering them some prayers, right? Maybe you're not able to be there for someone emotionally because you're just depleted yourself, but you can show up physically and mentally, right? That's giving someone a gentle hug and offering them some solutions to the problems that they might be experiencing, right? Or maybe you're not able to show up for someone mentally, but you can be there emotionally, right? That's giving words of encouragement and just positive energy, right? These are things that you can do, that how you can modify how you show up for those that you need to show up for, right? Again, just focusing on being present and giving what energy you have with the positive energy, and focusing on giving that energy and what you have and just having a positive attitude about it. Now, there are certain things to keep in mind when showing up personally, professionally, and romantically when you're not at 100%, okay? So how you can show up personally is practice self-compassion, right? Be kind to yourself. No one else in this world is going to give yourself as much grace as you are going to give yourself, okay? So acknowledge your effort without judgment. Understand that you're doing the best you can today, right? You might be an overachiever. You might be someone that likes to operate at 1,000 miles per hour all day, every day. Well, today you can't because you're not feeling your best. That's okay. Acknowledge that you're doing the best you can and just give yourself that grace. And just use your affirmations like, hey, I'm doing the best I can with what I have today. And that is perfectly okay because that's what I have to give, right? Another thing you can do is prioritize self-care, right? Scale back to manageable activities. Instead of going to the gym for an hour, maybe you can go for a 20-minute walk, right? Maybe instead of meditating for 30 minutes because there's something that's draining you emotionally, maybe you just do some deep breathing exercise for 5 minutes, right? Instead of journaling at the beginning and the end of your day, maybe you are going through things and that's not possible for you. So maybe you just leave a voice note instead, right? Managing it and making sure that you're taking these micro breaks to recharge throughout the day, right? Maybe you just need a little 5-minute break there or a 10-minute break there. Maybe you have the luxury of taking a little power nap. Whatever it is, you need to do what you need to do to recharge yourself just to make it through today. And one of the last things you could do to help yourself show up for yourself personally is communicate with your inner circle. Let trusted friends or family know that you're not 100%. There's a lot of power in being vulnerable with those that are in your inner circle because now you're giving them the opportunity to be a good friend, to be a good family member, to be a good partner. Now, with you being vulnerable and opening up to them, guilt-free, you're allowing them the opportunity to show up for you when you need them. And then now that's deepening and strengthening your relationship with them because they're reliable. And now you know that you can trust them. But now they know that you trust them. And that's just a beautiful thing when you're able to experience that on both sides of that interaction, where you're the person that feels that you can trust someone, or you're the person that feels like you've been entrusted with something very fragile. So that's an opportunity there for you to really develop your relationship and then also practice prioritizing yourself personally. Right. Now, how you can show up for yourself professionally is focus on the essentials when you're working in a professional capacity. And that means prioritizing key tasks that need your attention, right? There are typically important tasks that you can get done that will move the needle, that will make your day a success, right? So identify what those tasks are and making sure you're prioritizing them and channeling your energy to that, because guess what? If everything's important, nothing's important. So identifying what's urgent, what needs your immediate attention, and then making sure that you're able to give your energy to those things, get those done. And hey, guess what? I did what I needed to do today. I gave everything I could give and I got everything done, and that's okay, right? The thing you do is be honest but professional, right? You can communicate with your team and your boss if needed. Say, hey, I'm not feeling my best today, right? But you also want to make sure that the priorities are handled, okay? Setting boundaries when you're communicating and not oversharing, letting them know the intimate details of what it is that you're currently going through and what you're experiencing, right? No one needs to know that you and your partner are going through it. No one needs to know that your parents might be sick. No one needs to know that you rolled your ankle and you're physically limited, right? Those are intimate details you can share, but again, make sure you have those boundaries there so you're not oversharing, and letting your team know so that they can adjust their expectations on how you're going to show up and what you're able to give, depending on the circumstances, right? Leveraging the system and tools is also super important for showing up for yourself professionally, right? If you're not 100%, make sure you're utilizing everything at your disposal, right? Task management apps or email templates, or if you're fortunate enough to delegate some responsibilities to other people on your team, right? Lighting up your workload. These are things that you can do to help yourself professionally when you're not at 100%, and celebrate those small wins, okay? You showed up for yourself. You showed up for the team. You went out your way, and this was important enough for you. So acknowledge that and give yourself a pat on the back, right? And that's and acknowledging these minor achievements will help you maintain your motivation and keep you eager to keep on going on. Now, the most important thing out of the three, whether that's showing up for yourself personally, professionally, I think is romantically, because it's your partner, right? These are people that you've made an agreement with, that you guys essentially signed a contract with each other. So showing up for your partner when you're not 100% is very, very important, because they need you just as much as you need them. So it's super important to be transparent with your partner. Share how you're feeling without the guilt. It is okay to say that I'm not 100% today, but I want to show up for you in the best way that I can. How can I do that for you, right? Because there's strength in vulnerability, right? That vulnerability can strengthen your connection and trust with your partner, right? There's no such thing as being too open with your partner, because that can only lead to strengthening that connection that you guys have there, okay? And when you can, offer those small acts of love, right? Even when your energy is low, there's small gestures that you can do that can mean the most to your partners, whether that's a heartfelt hug or a text message letting them know that you're just thinking about them and that you appreciate them, or maybe just a little compliment. Letting your partner know how good they look today, right? You're not 100%. You're not able to do everything that you usually do, but these are these small acts, these small gestures that go a long way, that can help keep the fire burning for your relationship when you don't have 100% to give to it, right? Because let's be real, right? Showing up for your partner can be a lot sometimes. Never mind when you don't have everything to give. Never mind when you're emotionally drained or physically limited or mentally out of it, right? That responsibility can be a lot. But those small gestures take minimal effort, but have the greatest opportunity for really, again, strengthening that bond and keeping the fire going, right? Practicing active listening is another little thing that you can do. And when I say little, I mean little as in it requires a little bit of effort, but it has a significant impact on your relationship, right? You don't have much to give, but you can listen. Be that active ear. Listen and provide insight when you can, because again, your partner needs that. Your partner relies on you some days. Your partner depends on you. And it's important for you to show up for them, and it shows that you care, and it doesn't require significant effort, right? And lean on teamwork, right? This is your partner. You guys are teammates. You guys are Shaq and Kobe. You guys are LeBron and Kyrie. You guys are Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, right? You guys, this is your partner. You guys are teammates, right? They know what you got going on. They know you better than most people, right? It's okay if you lean on them a little bit more, right? It might have been your night to do the dishes. Well, you're not up for it. You can't do it. Hey, can you take care of that for me tonight? I really don't have it in me, right? It's okay to ask that for your partner. Lean on them for support. Lean on them the same way they lean on you. And again, that does nothing but strengthens your bond in your relationship, right? Relationships thrive when both partners support each other during tough times. And just because you're having a low energy day today, that doesn't mean your partner's not going to have their low energy day next week. Well, they'll lean on you. So again, one hand washes the other. At the end of the day, it all balances out and it works itself out in the end. Right. So a couple quick tips that I just want to fire off, right? There's an 80-20 rule. Okay. If you haven't heard of it, it's focusing on the 20% of actions that yield you 80% of the results. Yeah. And everything can't be important, right? There are certain actions that you can do that will yield you the majority of the results, make sure you're identifying what those actions are and doing them when you're running low on energy. That's how you can maximize your input for the day, right? Also, identifying what drains you and refuels you, because if there are certain tasks that are draining, if you know you're not at 100%, I'd probably avoid those. But also, if you know there are certain tasks that refuel you, I'd probably try to lean into those a little bit more when I'm not 100%, right? Perfect example, if you're an introvert and you know being in large groups of people is draining, if you're an introvert and you're not at 100%, it is not in your best interest to go be around large groups of people when you know that's going to be draining for you. Or vice versa, if you're an extrovert, maybe you might want to lean into that large group of people because that's typically where you get your energy from. So identifying what drains you and refuels you, again, be mindful of that when you're not feeling 100% because that really can help you. And also build your low energy toolkit, right? Know what it is that picks you up. If going for a walk gives you some energy, do that. If listening to a certain playlist gives you energy, do that. If eating a certain food gives you energy, do that, right? And have it in mind what it is that you need to do to pick yourself up, because when you do have that opportunity to do so, you should lean into it because, again, you just got to make it through the day by any means necessary. And if that means you got to, who knows, eat a couple bananas and that's your power up snack of the day, so be it. Eat a couple bananas, right? And celebrate your progress, not perfection. At the end of the day is going to end and you need to focus on what you accomplish, no matter how small it is. It is significant. All right. So give yourself that credit, recognize your success for the day, recognize the progress you've made to the day, because again, it's not always about being perfect. Sometimes that progress is what really can do it for you. Okay. So as I wrap it up, again, reminder, it is okay. You don't have to be perfect to make a meaningful impact, right? Just showing up, no matter the capacity, creates momentum and builds resilience, okay? So showing up a little bit today and a little bit tomorrow and a little bit the day after that is so much more powerful and beneficial than showing up 100% today, not showing up at all tomorrow because you're not 100%. But then showing up the day after that, again, everything compounds. Your habits compound. So if you're constantly showing up little by little by little, day after day after day after day, that compounds, right? The same compounds if you're not showing up, if you're skipping days, if you're falling off, if you're not being consistent time after time after time, that compounds, right? One's compounding for worse and the other one's compounding for better. So all of that creates momentum that ultimately goes and builds towards your character and who you are and who you're going to be, right? So reflect on the small ways that you can show up better, personally, professionally, romantically. All right. I threw out some ideas there for you, but again, reflect on what that can be for you. How can you show up romantically? How can you show up personally? How can you show up professionally when you're not 100%, right? Identify and think about what that might look like for you specifically, okay? Now, if you have any thoughts or anything you want to share just from your personal experience or any tips, feel free to leave us a comment here, or you can message us on social media at Instagram or TikTok at @raisethevibes_. So thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of The Evolution. I hope you're walking away with some new insight and a little extra motivation to fuel your journey. Before we wrap up, I want to invite you to join our free community. It's a space I've built through Raise the Vibes for people like you, those who are ready to evolve, grow, and create a life they truly love. Just head over to www.raisethevibesllc.com to join. It's quick, it's easy, and it's totally free. You'll get access to resources, tools, and network of a community of people who are just like you on the same mission to keep on leveling up. And this episode is coming to a conclusion, unfortunately, but if it resonated with you, share it with a friend or with someone who you know might need a little boost. Let's keep spreading those positive vibes and help each other evolve, all right? That's it for today. I'm Javon, Mr. Raise the Vibes, signing off. Stay focused, stay positive, and keep evolving. Stay tuned for our next episode.